we have discussed how Dhruva Maharaj had performed austerities, pleased the Lord. Lord has appeared, Lord has benedicted him, and then he went back to his city. There he was received by all of them, and he was made as a king. Then after some time, his brother he went to a forest, and some yakshas killed his brother, and Suruchi also died. Then Dhruva went became angry, and he went to fight with those yakshas. He was fighting very severely and killing all of the yakshas. So that time Manu has come and instructed him not to fight. So hearing that advice, I think last time we have discussed till that point. Manu has advised Dhruva Maharaj not to become controlled by anger, control anger, and don't kill all the yakshas. So hearing that instructions of Manu, he he stopped fighting. So he stopped killing yakshas. So in this way, although the anger is very difficult to control, especially at the point of fight, so where lot of emotions, lot of anger, enmity, all those things will be there, Rajogun. Still, on the advice of his grandfather Manu, he stopped fighting. So when Kuvera, who is the master of Yakshas, came to know that Dhruva, on the advice of his grandfather Manu, stopped killing Yakshas, he was pleased and he appeared there in front of Dhruva and started speaking to Dhruva. So he started saying that, oh, uh, oh Dhruva Maharaj, I am very much pleased with your activity that on the advice of your grandfather, you have stopped your fighting, you have stopped your enmity, which is very difficult to stop, very difficult to avoid at the time of enmity. So therefore, I am very much pleased. Actually, it's not that you have killed the Yakshas or Yakshas have killed your brother. Ultimately, everything is happening by the time feature of the Lord. Kala is making some destiny approved by the Lord. That is what everything is making happen. So don't worry that you have killed Yakshas, nor Yakshas have killed your brother. Everything is happening under the influence of time. So generally we think in terms of bodily conception, I and mine. So because of that bodily conception only, that because of that ajnana, so all these things of I and mine and all these enemies, all these concept will come. So therefore, which will cause complete samsara, birth and death, and it will cause continuously going in the samsara. So that bodily conception is the cause. So therefore now, since you have withdrawn all good fortune unto you, now you worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So by rendering that service, you will achieve all perfection. Previously only you have achieved that perfection. So and now also if you can you engage in that transcendental worship of the Lord, by which everyone by worshipping the Lord can get out of from this entanglement. So in this way, everything auspicious will come, and whatever is happening in this world, everything is happening by the power of the Supreme Lord. So therefore, worship the Lord. And finally, he says that since you have stopped killing yakshas, I'm very much pleased. So therefore, please ask a benediction without hesitation. I am very much pleased. So Kuvera is the treasurer of all the wealth. So Kuvera has come and asking Dhruva for for a benediction. Actually, Dhruva Maharaj is already a pure devotee. He is a great devotee, constantly thinking of the lotus feet. and he does not need any benediction from the devatas, other devatas when they are asking. So, like for example, it was mentioned that when but for a bhakta who is serving Lord Krishna, Mukti Devi herself will come and with her folded hands ask that bhakta, please, I want to offer you liberation, please accept. And that bhakta says, wait, wait, I am worshipping Lord Mukunda. So like that, the glorification is there. So Kuvera is a devata who is servant of the Lord. So he is like kind of asking that you ask for a benediction. So although Dhruva Maharaj doesn't require any benediction, but still out of respect he asks Kuvera one benediction. Since he is a pure devotee, he is asking only for one benediction. So he said that we should have constant remembrance of the Lord. Haro sa vabre achalitam smritim. So constant remembrance of the Lord is what this Dhruva Maharaj has asked from Kuvera. So that means even if the devotees ask some benedictions, they will only ask for the ultimate benediction of devotional service only. They don't ask for some like anything not related to Krishna. So that will go against the dedication of these people. So he is like a Mahabhagavata devotee. So therefore, he is only, although Kuvera is asking for a benediction, Dhruva is only asking for constant remembrance of the Lord, right? So Kuvera, as we know, like he's like the richest person in this world, right? Kuvera is the treasurer of the all the devatas, whatever riches one may have, everything like everyone in this world that riches, everything is coming from Kuvera only. The Kuvera is supplying all the riches, and he is the treasurer of all the devatas. He is coming and asking Dhruva Maharaj ask for a benediction. He might have asked all the riches and everything, but he is only asking for constant remembrance of the Lord. So, and what is the advantage? By remembering constantly, one can easily cross over this ocean of nations very easily. Yeya tarati ayatnena duratyam tamaha. So in this way, he is asking only for remembrance of the Lord. So Kuvera was very much pleased with that asking. So he told that he benedicted that yes, your mind be always let your mind be always on the lotus feet of the Lord. So and then he returned to his world. So so generally Vaishnavas it is said that they don't approach any devatas for any benediction. So like how is that he is asking for some benediction? So in general, like even if like generally Vaishnavas doesn't ask any benediction from devatas, but even if they ask, they only ask for things related to Krishna. For example, gopis also worshipped Katyayani Devi, but they worship to attain Krishna. So like that, this way Dhruva Maharaj accepting a benediction from Kuvera is also true essence. So in this way, Kuvera offered this. The next, how Dhruva Maharaj ruled the world. So that is described. So Dhruva Maharaj, while ruling as a king, the whole world, he is always performing sacrifices. Sacrifices with a lot of charities, with a lot of paraphernalia, with a lot of activities for the devatas. So he was performing all those activities. But these activities he is performing as a duty, as a king, but mainly he was like kind of completely engaged in bhakti. His main activity is bhakti only. The sacrifices as a duty, he is engaging others, like somehow he is engaging others to do all those things. Sarvatmani Achyute Asarve, without any limit, he is serving the Lord with complete bhakti. And because of that bhakti, he was able to perceive the Lord in every living entity. In that way, he perform that bhakti. In that way, that is mentioned. So, uh, how the citizens treated Dhruva Maharaj, that is also mentioned in one shloka. Tamevam Shila Sampannam Brahmanyam Dina Vatsalam Goptaram Dharma Setuna Menire Pitaram Praja. All the prajas, they all considered Dhruva as a Pitara, as a father, because he endowed with all the good qualities. Shila Sampan, Brahmanyam is very respectful to Brahmanas. Dina Vatsala is very affectionate towards all the poor people or the suffering people. Goptaran Dharma Setuna, he is protecting all the dharmic principles. So in this way, since he is ruling, all the prajas they are considering him as like a king. So this is a great quality of a good ruler. A person who is taking care of all the citizens, he should have these qualities. So in this way, Dhruva ruled for 36,000 years. After ruling 36,000 years, he is like in those 36,000 years, he is enjoying. So it's like it appears that he diminished all his uh, pu- the reactions for his pious activities by enjoyment, and by practicing austerities, whatever uh, inauspicious reactions are there, they are all being nullified. So like that, he kind of performed. So it is actually uh, Dhruva Maharaj is actually a pure devotee. He doesn't have any punya or papa, but out of his humility, he is thinking that I also need to destroy my punya and destroy papa. Like that, he was thinking. So in this way, uh, he is uh, he is behaving. So in this way, he was like past many years, ruling 36,000 years, very nicely ruling, and all the people they are all satisfied with the dharma, the kama, everything in the material world. So then he, after that, he handed over his kingdom to his son and went to Badrikashram. So there, he was like kind of developed. It appeared that he developed a detachment because he already detached. So he saw this whole cosmic manifestation is like complete Maya, bewildering everyone. Although it is like a dream, because it is the external energy of the Lord. Because of that, everyone thinks this is real. So in this way, he realized that this whole samsara or everything is all working under the direction of Maya. So because he realized that, he gave up all those kingdom, and he he everything in connection with him, his body, his family, his children, friends, everything, his treasury, all comfortable places, everything he considered them to be creations of Maya. So in this way, complete detachment, he uh, left everything and he went to Himalayas in a place called Badrikash. So in this way, after ruling for 36,000 years, he kind of developed that detachment, and he went to Badrikashram, perfect his life. So there, Dhruva went there, and he completely purified himself. He bathed regularly in that Badrikashram water, and he started practicing yoga by also started controlling his air, pranayama, and asana. So Ashtanga yoga process he started practicing yama, niyama, pratyahara, all the eight processes he started doing. And initially, he concentrated on the stula form, that means gross material universe. And then immediately, he gave up that gross universal form and started meditating upon the spiritual form of the Lord. In this way, he was like completely meditating and established in the trance. So why that meditation on the transcendental form of the Lord, was mentioned that continuously tears were flowing from his eyes, and his heart is like kind of melting, and there was shivering and standing on the hairs all over his body. So in this way, he was like completely experiencing the devotional ecstasies. So these are symptoms that whenever we perform devotional service and we are advancing, all these things automatically come without any our effort. Tears flowing from eyes and the heart melting, hair standing on end. So these are all the advanced symptoms of a devotee. So Dhruva Maharaj is experiencing all these things. So in this way, he completely became free from all the material bondage. So in this way, he perfected his life. So at that time, he saw that a very beautiful airplane is coming from the sky, and that airplane was glowing like a moon, full moon, and it is illuminating all the 10 directions. In this way, some nice airplane has come. So in that airplane, there are two very beautiful associates of Lord Vishnu, and their form is described. They are looking similar to Lord Vishnu, four hands, and Shama, like Lord's color, very youthful. They have nice reddish eyes, means like lotus-like eyes. They are wearing clubs and dressed in yellow clothes and wearing helmets and other forms similar to Lord Vishnu. So just by seeing Dhruva, he could immediately understood that they are the servants of Lord Vishnu. Immediately he stood up and he was like out of bewilderment of seeing the Vishnu Dutas. He forgot how to receive them properly. So he just folded his uh, hands and just chanted the holy name of the Lord simply. So, in general, sometimes we may get confused what to do, what not to do. So, anytime the holy name of the Lord is always auspicious. So, the holy name of the Lord will satisfy everyone. So, just by chanting the holy name, he pleased even the Vishnu Dutas. So, in this way, that person who is always absorbed in the lotus feet of the Lord, his heart was filled with the Lord. He saw those servants. So those servants' names were Nanda and Sunanda. So they approached him, and Dhruva, he like very respectfully folded his hands, bowed humbly. And then those two personalities started speaking to the Dhruva Maharaj, Sunanda Nanda. Oh, dear king, let all good fortune be upon you. So, when you are only 5 years only, that time only you did severe austerities, and in this way you satisfied the Supreme Lord. We are the representative of that Supreme Lord. So, we are deputed by the Lord so that we can take you to the spiritual world. And you have achieved that Vishnu Loka, which is very difficult by your austerity. Even the great rishis and devatas cannot achieve that position. And all the other planets, this is like Vishnu Loka is referring to the Vishnu Loka in this material world, which is like Dhruva Loka. So all the other planets, Sun, Moon, and all other planets, they are all circumambulating this moon, this Dhruva planet. So therefore, you please come, and we will go there. And uh, this planet is, even your forefathers also did not achieve this planet, such is the great planet. So this is called as Vishnu Loka, and Lord Vishnu personally resides there. It is the highest of all the planets, and it is worshipped by all the inhabitants of all the other planets within this universe. So therefore, you come and stay there in this world. In this way, they are inviting Dhruva to stay there. In this way, they also told this unique airplane that we have brought, this was brought by us, this was sent by the Lord Himself. And so, in this way, you are worthy to board in this airplane. So, In this way, they are welcoming Dhruva to that beautiful Vimana of airplane sent by the Supreme Lord directly. So in this way, uh, like this concept of Vimana is there even in the all our scriptures. That also we can understand here. One interesting purport Prabhupada writes that these Vaikunta airplanes they don't move a mechanical arrangement. There are like they use some other uh, mechanism which we don't have. So like that he kind of writes. So in this way, hearing those words of Vishnu Dutas, he was very much pleased. Immediately took sacred bath in the nearby river, nearby place, and he dressed himself in suitable ornaments, and he performed the rituals. And then immediately he, there are sages surrounding there. He offered his respectful obeisances to all those great sages and accepted their blessings. So we can see that here Dhruva Maharaj, he himself is going to Vaikuntha, and those sages they are still living there in that place. But still, Dhruva Maharaj is not proud that see I am going and you are still here. No, Dhruva Maharaj is offering respectful obeisances to all the sages and taking their blessings, he was boarding the airplane. So you can see the behavior of the humble Vaishnava like Guru Maharaj. So, and before getting into that airplane, he was also very respectful to that airplane also. He circumambulated that airplane. He offered obeisances to these two Nanda and Sunanda associates of Vishnu. So in this way, he kind of boarding that airplane, and he himself became very shiny. So that means his body completely became like a spiritual person. In this way, he was boarding that airplane, and he was boarding. So at that time, it was said that death personified it came to Dhruva at that time. So Dhruva, not at all caring for death, and he took that opportunity of that death personified to board the airplane. He took one step on the head of that death personified and boarded the airplane. So in this way it was mentioned. That means the death has no uh, no like he utilized that death as a stepping stone to board the airplane. This way, kind of, in this way, he was kind of he boarded the death. That means the death doesn't have its impact on devotees of the Lord. In this way, we can understand. And in the self same body, Dhruv Maharaj is reaching Vaikuntha. So this like means that means his body has become spiritualized, and in that spiritualized body, he was entering. In this way, when he was going in that airplane, all the celestials on the way, they are all celebrating drums and kettle drums. They resounded, and flowers are showered upon Dhruv Maharaj. So in this way, he was boarding. So when he seated on that Dhruva on that airplane, and he was about to stop, so that time Dhruva Maharaj had a thought. He had a wonderful thought that he had a wonderful thought that he started remembering about his mother Suniti. He thought that how shall I go alone to this Vaikuntha planet and leave behind my uh, poor mother? So he was like kind of thinking about Suniti. If you remember, what did Suniti did? Suniti initially, when Dhruva was very much agitated by the words of his stepmother, Suniti directed him to worship the Lord. So anyone who directs us to worship the Lord, he is called as Pata Pradarshaka Guru. That means Pata means path or the who shows the way. Later on, he may accept a Siksha Guru, Diksha Guru, initiating spiritual master and who instructs spiritual instructions, all those things. But Pata Prataksha Guru also who directs one to worship the Lord is also remembered. So in this way, Dhruva Maharaj is remembering Suniti for her direction to worship the Lord. So like here, like because Dhruva Maharaj is remembering Suniti at the time, he Suniti also was awarded benediction. Like it was mentioned that Nanda Sunanda mentioned that they understood that what Dhruva is thinking. Then they showed that Suniti is already also going in another plane to Vaikuntha. So that because she directed Dhruva to worship the Lord and Dhruva perfected his life, Suniti also got the benefit. So in this way, uh, Suniti also got benefit. Like Prabhupada, he is writing commentaries to Bhagavatam. He also writes that uh, if one of like my disciple perfects his life and goes back to Godhead, then I will also get benediction. So like that, he very humbly he is writing, right? He write that sometimes I think that even though I am crippled in many ways, if one of my disciples become as strong as Dhruva Maharaj, then he will be able to carry me with him to Vaikuntha Loka. So like that, Prabhupada very humbly writing, although he is carrying everyone to Vaikuntha, that you can see. So in this way, the like one more attitude of Dhruva we can remember is that he is expressing his gratitude. So for the people who directed him, who helped him. So previously, like and many times it was mentioned, it was said that gratitude is the root of all the good qualities. So Dhruva Maharaj is expressing her gratitude to Suniti, and Suniti got also benedicted. In this way, nicely this Dhruva as well as Suniti going back to Godhead is being described. So while he was going through, he on the way while going through Vaikuntha, he saw uh, all the planets of the solar system, and they saw all the devatas. They are also showering flowers upon him like rain. In this way, he saw many planets. He surpassed all the heavenly planetary systems, and also he surpassed seven planetary systems of the great sages Saptarshi Mandala. So in this way, he crossed beyond the sun, went to the place of the Lord Vishnu, where Lord Vishnu resides. So this is in within this within this material universe only, but there is a place called Dhruva Nakshatra, Dhruva planet, pole star. This is also previously ruled by Vishnu. So that place actually Vishnu has awarded to Dhruva because Dhruva has prayed for a position greater than even Brahmaji also. So greater than the position of Brahmaji is Lord Vishnu's position himself. So therefore, actually Vishnu gave his own position to Dhruva. The Dhruva is the like Vishnu maintains this whole world. That position Vishnu gave to Dhruva, and he is simply sitting. Uh, he is sitting in that planet, giving that position to Dhruva. So in this way, Dhruva is actually maintaining all the planet, all the people now. So in this way, a supreme auspicious position Dhruva got pole star. Its more glories will come in fifth canto when cosmology section is described. So in this way, Dhruva planet he has achieved. And that Dhruva planet, it was mentioned that that is self-effulgent, uh, that self-effulgent, and by that self-effulgent, it kind of It eliminates all the other planets also, and that planet is not cannot be reached by other living entities. Only persons who perform all the welfare activities, those only can reach that Vaikuntha planet. Who can reach? That is mentioned. Shanta, Shamadrusha, Shuddha, Sarva Bhutanuranjana. Yanti Anjasa Achyuta Padam, Achyuta Priya Bandhava. Those people who are peaceful, who are equally equipoised, who are cleansed, purified, and Sarva Bhuta Anuranjana, who are always uh, pleasing for all the living entities. They Yanti Anjasa Achyutapadam, they easily attain that Lord abode. And Achyuta Priya Bandhava, they are all very dear to even the Lord also. So, persons who have developed all the good qualities and bhakti towards the Lord, they will attain that Lord's abode. Otherwise, no one can enter that kind of planets that I mentioned. So, in this way, Dhruva Maharaj, he has attained these the topmost planet in all the three planetary systems. Chudamani, summit jewel, topmost planet he has attained, first jewel of three worlds. And this the like through the pole star, the speciality is that all the just like a bull when it is tied to central pole, it moves circle like around. So like that, all the different planetary systems in this universe, they circumambulate around pole star with great force and speed, which is more elaborated in fifth canto. So in this way, Narada Muni, he in this way Dhruva Maharaj attaining the Vaikuntha planet is described. So Narada Muni playing his veena, he described these activities of Dhruva in the sacrificial arena of Prachetas. So what he said, Narada Muni said that Dhruva has the through the power of Dhruva Maharaj, his advancement, his spiritual austerity, he was so much devoted to the Lord, and no one can. He has attained such a position that no even Karma Kandi Vedic followers also cannot attain. So in this way, he has attained. In within 5 years only, just by aggrieved by the harsh words of stepmother, he went to the forest under my direction. He performed tapasya, and he saw the Lord. So in this way, he has attained the Lord. And that exalted position he has attained only in 5 years, 6 years only. And that too by performing only 6 months austerity. So he is a great Kshatriya. So like even other Kshatriyas, even though they may perform the austerities for many years, they cannot achieve such kind of position. So in this way, Narada Muni also glorifies Dhruva's position. So in this way, Dhruva Maharaj pastime is mentioned. So great saintly persons, they always like to hear these qualities, this pastime of Dhruva Maharaj. So by hearing this pastime of Dhruva Maharaj, there are so many benedictions that are mentioned. It can fulfill the desires for wealth, reputation, ayu, duration of life. It is so auspicious that one can even go to heavenly planet or one can attain Dhruva Loka just by hearing all these things. And devatas also become very pleased if someone hears because this narration is very glorious and it will counteract all the sinful reactions also. So in this way, and whoever repeatedly hears this story, mm, they will also attain the main benediction of pure devotional platform, and they perform bhakti towards the Lord. And by performing bhakti, all the tapatraya, three miserable conditions will go away. That is the glory of hearing the process of Dhruva Maharaj. And also, whoever hears, they acquire exalted qualities like Dhruva Maharaj. And if anyone wants some great power, influence, greatness, if someone wants, then also they by hearing Dhruva Maharaj past time, they will attain all those things if they want like that. So one should chant the, like in this way. It was mentioned that in a assembly of all the brahmanas or other people, one should chant the character and activities of Dhruva Maharaj in the morning and in the evening with great attention and care. So in this way, and whoever takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, uh, they they should recite this pastime on the Ekadashi or on the Purnima or the Amavasya or on the other tithis that are mentioned. So always it will yield a proper results. So this way, one should not be any motivation should be there, and in this way, both the listener and the speaker will become perfect. So, uh, and in this way, like so many glorification of hearing process is kind of mentioned. So it is like very sublime knowledge is there. One who doesn't know about the absolute truth can know the path of the truth. So it also gives transcendental knowledge. So in this way, it is a great blessing. So in this way, all this pastime of Dhruv Maharaj is all I have narrated to you like that. Uh, Maitreya conclude this pastime of Dhruv Maharaj. So in this way, Dhruva's pastime is described. The next, the descendants of Dhruv Maharaj, that is briefly described. So in this way, when Vidura Maitreya Muni was narrating, he told that he hearing this pastime of Dhruva, Vidura, he became very much uh, enlivened in the devotion. How Dhruva has attained the abode of the Lord. He started inquiring. You have mentioned Narada Muni glorified Dhruva's activities in Prachetas. Who are those Prachetas? Where, in which family they belong? Whose sons are they? Where did they perform great sacrifices? All those questions I want to know. I know that Narada, he was a great personality. He has compiled Pancharatra procedures. I want to understand where he glorified. So, in this way, he asked that question. And also, how Narada Muni in that meeting glorified the activities of the Supreme Lord. I want to hear. So, in this way, he asked. The Maitreya Muni started replying that actually all these pastime of Prachetas, they are actually uh, descendants of Dhruva Maharaj only. So therefore, Maitreya Muni started narrating the description of the descendants of Dhruva only. So after Dhruva left, his son Utkala, his son was Utkala, one of his son. So Utkala actually he was very much detached from his childhood. So he did not accept that royal opulence of his father, and he was completely detached. So therefore, he saw the presence of the Lord everywhere in everyone's heart also. So in this way, by that knowledge, he has attained transcendental bliss, and in this bliss, he was continuously engaging in devotional service. So therefore, he did not take up the kingdom, but he behaved like an foolish person, blind person, dumb person. So in this way, he did not accept the kingdom. So he was like a fire covered with ashes. So in this way, ministers and other people they thought that he doesn't have any intelligence. So therefore, they made his younger brother named Vatsara, who is son of Brahmi, as a king. In this way, Vatkala he went and perfected his life. So Vatsara as a uh, Vatsara has a six sons, Pushpana, like that, six sons are there. In that line, there are several other sons that those are mentioned. So slowly, in that after 3 4 generations, one person called Chakshusa was also born. So Chakshusa actually became the Manu or the sixth Manvantara. And in that line, some more kings will come. So in that king, one of the king was Anga. So that Anga story, little bit story will come here. So the Anga His his son, he his son was called as Vena. So he was very much Vena is very crooked person. So therefore, Anga, being a saintly king, he was very much disgusted with the character of Vena. So therefore, he left his home and kingdom and went to the forest. So and Vena, while he was ruling, all the sages they became very much angry with Vena's behavior. Therefore, all the sages cursed Vena to die. So with that thunderbolt, that Vag Vajra, the curse of the great sages, Vena immediately died. So, Vena immediately died. So when Vena died, because there was no king, there were rogues and thieves flourished. So kingdom in which there is no king, all the thieves will flourish immediately. So therefore, so many thieves are coming. Seeing that, all the sages they became perturbed and they churned the body of Vena. So from which Lord Prithu, as King Prithu has appeared, who is a partial representation of the Lord. In this way, he has narrated briefly about the birth of Prithu. So Vidura, at that point of time, he asked question that Anga was a great personality. He has high character and a lover of Brahminical culture. So how come he had a bad son like a Vena? So because of which he has to leave the kingdom and go. And in general, the sages they are all they know all the dharma religious principles. So how come they desire to curse King Vena, who is ruling as a king? So king generally should not be punished. So therefore, how can this Brahma Shapa has come upon this Vena? How did they perform? In general, the citizens they generally always be respectful to king. So although sometimes he may be sinful, but but here we see that the sages only killed him. So therefore, I want to hear. So in this way, when Vidura requested, Maitreya started narrating about the history of Anga and Vena. So in this way, so Anga was a great king and he was performing great sacrifice, Ashwamedha sacrifice. So while he was performing that Ashwamedha sacrifice, in that while offering offerings, he invited all the devatas. But in spite of so many efforts, the devatas are not coming to that sacrifice. So then priests in that sacrifice they informed Anga that we are all perfectly offering the clarified like ghee in the sacrifice, and we are all doing perfectly everything. But still, the devatas are not coming. So and like basically we are doing everything perfectly, but still the devatas are not coming. Although we don't have any deficiency in the performance. So hearing that, uh, hearing that this Vena, this Anga, he asked all the all the Brahmanas that please let me know. He was actually performing the vow of silence, and he took the permission from the all the priests, and then he broke that vow of silence and asked all the priests that why the devatas are not coming, what offense did they commit, although there is no discrepancy why they are not coming to take shares. So the priests they analyzed and they told that uh, in this lifetime, you have not committed any mistake, sinful activity, even within your mind also, because you are not offensive. But in your previous life, you perform some sinful activity, because of which uh, you, because of that, you are not having any son. So therefore, uh, because you are not having son, uh, that's why they are not coming. But if you pray to the Supreme Lord and ask for a son, then the Lord will fulfill your desire. So then when the Lord Hari, when he is invited to fulfill your desire for a son, that time all the devatas will also come and they will also take their sacrifices, their shares in the sacrifice. So therefore, you perform this yajna to worship the Lord. In this way, they they suggested King Anga to perform. So Anga, he offered oblations to Lord Vishnu, who is situated in everyone's heart, and that from the fire, a person has appeared. So after performing their sacrifice, he was wearing a golden garland and a white dress, and he was carrying a golden pot, which is like filled with rice and milk. It is called as payasam. Payasam is like basically rice and milk mixture. So he brought that, and he he accepted the payasam from that person, and he, after smelling that, he offered that payasam to his wife. So in this way, he got that poison, and Manga's wife Suniti, she accepted that poison. So although she doesn't have a child, she became pregnant in due course of time, and she gave birth to a son. So actually, that wife Sunita, he was actually his father was Mrityu. He was death personified, and because he was coming from that Adharma family, Adharmamsha, he is coming from that Adharmamsha, Mrityu, there. So this person also became Adharmic, irreligious, Vena, so because he was following the his grandfather, mother's father, who is Mrityu, who is Adharma, part of Amsha of Adharma. So, like this boy, he was like cruel from his childhood onwards. When in childhood only, when he used to carry his bow and arrow, he used to kill so many innocent deer. And as soon as people see that Vana is coming, they used to cry, "Oh, here comes cruel Vena! Here comes cruel Vena!" Like that, everyone used to fear about the appearance of Vena. And this Vena is so cruel that while he was playing with his friends, if they do something, he used to kill them while playing also very mercilessly. So as if like some animals were slaughtered like that, he used to kill them. So seeing though the cruel activities of Vena, Anga punished him so many different ways in order to rectify him. But that Vena is not at all changing his behavior. In this way, Anga became frustrated and he was like Anga became frustrated and he was like very much aggrieved, so much because he was thinking that his son creating so many troubles. So Anga was thinking, so he was thinking that actually previously I don't have son. Actually, having no son is actually great fortune because they might have worshipped the Lord. In this way, they don't have son who is creating so much trouble to them. They don't have to suffer the unhappiness caused by a bad son. So, and this bad son, the sinful son, he causes so much reputation of the father to vanish, and all his adharmic activities cause so much adharma and quarrel among everyone. So therefore, it creates a lot of anxiety. And so, who would, if he is intelligent, desire such a bad son? No one wants such a bad son who always creates trouble. He always make bondage in this material world, and he makes one's home very much miserable. In this way, he was kind of thinking that bad son is so much not wanted. Everyone suffers because of that bad son. Like that, he was thinking, but slowly his thinking process got changed. Then slowly he was thinking that actually a bad son is very much better than a good son. So why? How is that change came? He was thinking that Actually, a bad son is good, better than a good son, because if a good son is there, there will be lot of attachment for the home. No one will get detached from that home. So bad son is better because good son is always creates attachment for home, and but bad son he will not create attachment, and he bad son will make the home a hellish place. So therefore, the person easily becomes detached from his home. So in this way, his kind of thought process changed from negative or whatever negative positive or positive negative. He was thinking that bad sun is bad, but now he was thinking his bad sun is good because it generated a detachment from me. So in this way, Anga, he was not able to sleep only in the night time because of all these things. In this way, he completely grew up indifferent to all the family affairs. And once in the night time, without telling anyone, when others are sleeping, even his wife is also sleeping. So he gave up all that attraction for the kingdom, and without anyone notice, he gave up that home and went to forest. So when the people in the kingdom and the others, they woke up, ministers, they tried to find him, but they could not find. They began to search him all over the world, but just like people without devotional service, they try to search the super soul everywhere else who is presenting inside all over the world. So like that, they tried to find Anga, but they could not find Anga anywhere. So therefore, became very disappointed and they came back home. So and they were thinking that we don't have any king. So with so much lamentation, they are all uh, offering obeisances, and they informed the sages that they could not find any king anywhere. So like that, the Anga he got retired from kingdom. So then the sages that when king is not there, there will be lot of disturbances in the society. So therefore, the sages, out of concern for the society, they thought that okay, let us make Vena, although he is cruel, known to be cruel, let us make him as a king. But if he behaves properly, that time we can rectify the situation. So like that they thought and made Vena as the king. So, but this Vena is a atheistic person, cruel person. So how he was ruling and how the sages dealt with this Vena, that all we will discuss in the next one. The story of Vena. So in this way, we discussed Dhruva going back to Godhead, and then in his descendants, Angamara's story, how he left the kingdom out of frustration of a bad son like Vena. That is, so I'll stop here. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you.
Chandra Shri Bhagavatam ki Jai Shri Prabhupada.